Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to update the homepage of the website. Kind of give you a little tour around here. Once you log in, if you wanted to see the store real fast, you don't have to keep two tabs open. You always just pop on this little eyeball and then it'll open up your site right here. Okay. So if we're going to go ahead and look at this, you're going to control the website through what's called online store here. So whoever's going to be editing the website, and this is just for the homepage, okay, and for some of the actual pieces within inside the website itself. So we're going to cover, there's a banner that can go at the very top, which is the sales promo banner. There's this, promotions thing here. There's the navigation bar. There's this slider. There's these options here. There are the Chai Spice, the featured collection, this video section, this here, this, best-selling, testimonials, blog, and then the footer and such, which you really don't need to touch, but you can. So if you wanted to do that, you just simply go into the back end here, online store, and then before you make any changes, it's always best to make a quick little copy. So if you look at this, you'll go to actions and you can go to duplicate. Even though you have an app installed in the website that is that downloads and backs up the entire site, you don't need to do a full restore in case you mess something up, right? So if you mess something up inside the thing, you delete something or whatever, you can always just go back to one of the old versions, and how you restore it is you would select just actions and then publish. So you could always look at it first before you publish it to make sure it's the right one. But what I'll usually do is I just made this duplicate from today, right? So I'll go ahead and rename it. And I'll just call it Impulse Back, right? Whatever, today's date. And then that way you have this duplicate from today of a starting point, right? So you may not need to go back to that, but it's always nice to have that just in case. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is you're going to go into Customize here. Now, I made the ability for you at the very top here to add a promotional banner. So if you guys wanted to, it's right here. You click on this little drop down next to header, okay, and then you click on promo banner. And notice how it is the eye is hidden. So if you just show it, it'll actually show the promo banner that you have there. And if you guys want to control what image it is, you just go ahead and click there, and then you can either use free images, or you can go to a library, or you can upload your image. This image across here is like 1920 by 100, or you can use the same parameters you use for this holiday image that you have. And you probably want to add some maybe some white space over here, so the Made in Hawaii and such shows. I am going to move that down a little bit, but just so if you are putting images up there, this floats on top of that, right? So if I'm looking at the front of the website, it's over here, right? And so it's floating on top of that. But if you put an image up there, this will actually pop down. So I'll just show it for now. Anytime you're done working on anything, you always got to select Save so that you actually save it. Now I'll go back to the front homepage. You got to wait for this thing to load. And it takes a minute, a few seconds sometimes for Shopify to update the front end. But notice how it actually created the actual banner and it went way across the site. And so the banner does, it is responsive. So if you move the browser, for some reason mine's not moving, but there we go. So if you move the browser back and forth, the image will expand or contract with it. Some people don't like that, but that's the way you should do it. So I did it that way. So I don't want it showing, so I'm going to go ahead and just select, let's close out of here, and then you can also make a link to it. So if you wanted to link this banner to a collection or to something else, you can. You click collections and say you wanted to link it to whatever sale you have going on, Christmas or whatever. So if you got say we're going to send it to all blends, we can send it to all blends. When you're done, you select save. And then that'll link that banner to the all blends page. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that. So now I have this announcement up here, right? So you can actually click on announcements, and you have the announcements over here. If you actually put some information in here, you'll see it start to change right there. But you go ahead and leave the heading alone and leave this stuff in here. You can also link each of these entire sayings to another page, a blog, or a product. And then you have announcement too, which is the next thing that slides through here. So free FedEx. And then if you wanted to have another one, you can have, you can just show this one, and then it'll be the third announcement that appears when it's going through this cycle here. So I'm not going to show that, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that one off, right? But you can control it. So anytime you're all done with this, this is how you exit it here, but you always want to make sure that you save over here before you do that. And then you can also look at the site in a mobile version here. If you go ahead and click this little icon, and then you can see how your changes are affecting the actual mobile version, which is pretty cool, right? So we'll go ahead and go back to desktop, and then we're going to go ahead and collapse this with the little arrow. So the next thing here is we have the slide right here. So we have this slide bar right here. So if you go onto the slide itself, if you didn't like one of these, say you don't want holiday gift guide showing, but you want to use it next year or next month or whatever, you can go ahead and turn it off by hiding it, and then now just these two slides will show. So say for instance I want to edit this slide, I go ahead and click on slide, and if you notice over here, depending on how large your browser is, if my browser was smaller, see how everything goes over to the left? But if it's not, then it's going to pop over to the right. You notice that? This whole bar will go over there if my browser is smaller. So right now it's split. I have three columns here. But if my computer was smaller or whatever, I'd probably see all the slide information here for the slide with the image and everything. And then you can just use this little back arrow to go back and forth between these. Okay? Boom. You don't want to click that one because that'll take you back to the dashboard for Shopify. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this slide here. I'm going to make my window bigger again. Okay, so subheading, you can actually add text in here, and then it'll appear on the slide. So if you didn't want to have the text on the banners, it's always nice to do that, but you can control it here. And so say, for instance, you wanted to have a slide link with a button, and then you could link it to all products. You can actually link it there, and then you have some slide link text, and then slide link text 2. So if you look at this, you kind of have a little bit of control of how these things are showing up. So you have these two buttons, so you can link one to Shop Now and one to something else. But I'm not going to leave any of that on. Let's get rid of all that stuff. So now you're just going to use the images that are there, and it looks a lot nicer the way you did it. So then this would be the button color, and then you have button left or center or right if you're going to use the buttons. And then these images. So when you upload these images, make sure you edit the alt text, right? So you want to get some good SEO juice for that. So this will be oil of the week. All right, let's do essential oil of the week, and then put in your company name. And you'll notice when I start doing this, I'm going to be putting your company name at the end. So that's what you want to do. You're trying to get the SEO juice from the first part of these options, right? So now this image has its alt tag. I could scroll down here. If I wanted a different image to slide here for mobile, like say it wasn't fitting or it looked weird, I can actually make a mobile specific image for that. So when I'm actually on a mobile device, it'll be different than whatever this one is, or it could be the same one, just with maybe the text moved to the center so that it shows correctly on mobile. So if I look at this, and I'll go to mobile, see how the image isn't that great? So you're going to want to tinker around with that and make it look pretty nice for yourself. It's kind of weird that it does that, but and then you have focal points, top, center, bottom, right, so you can force the image up or down or left or right. So remember that the view that you see in center here is not really the one that everybody sees. Just open up a new browser, tab, or window, and then you can go ahead and look at your website. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this right now, and it's going to get rid of that promo banner at the top. And there the promo banner's gone. Okay, and I hid the holiday one since the holiday's over. So we'll leave that hidden for now. And you can always unhide it and then edit it and stuff like that. You can only have a handful of slides as well. So if you wanted to have like 7 slides or 8 slides, I think it only allows 4 or 6, I can't remember. But you can keep adding a few. You don't want to do more than 3. That really just pesters people. Most people don't even look at it, but these change fast enough so people have to read them, which is good. Rich text, this is turned off. If you turn it back on, you'll see that it's going to show some rich text here. You can put some information. I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm actually going to delete that block because I don't want any of this stuff filling up my, it's kind of a pain because I might turn it on accidentally. So if you want to get rid of these are called blocks. You can get rid of them without actually deleting the ability, right? So you go here, scroll down to the right, remove section. So now that section's removed, and then the same thing, promo grid. So here's a promo grid with an announcement. You might want to use this. You might want to mess around with this. It's kind of cool in the theme, so you can go ahead and add it yourself, and then you add your own promotion information and links and images and everything, and you can play around with that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this one available. I'm going to hide it though, okay? So I'm hiding it. So right now it's grayed out, so it's not available on the site. If I select it and then I save, it's going to show. Okay, so I'm going to keep it off. Next thing down is the collections list. It's these guys right here. So if you look at all essential oils, then the first one is all essential. I can actually hide that one. Now I'll just see 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and enable it. Now I'll see all of them. And if you notice over here, I can actually use the collection. And so you can go to, change the collection of what you want it to be. And then whatever it is, if you notice there's images here, right? So these images are the images that are actually on the collection itself. And I'll show you that a little bit later in the video. When you upload an image to the collection, it's going to be the thing that takes place and shows on the top of your banners at the very top here. Let's see if I can find one. There we go. So here's an image here, right? See how it's kind of grainy and everything? You don't want to make these like 1600 pixels wide by like 400 or 500 pixels tall, and then you're going to have to play around with it to see what works for you and what your browser size is. It's always good to look at these like on a laptop, because it'll give you the actual way that most people are going to see them. Mac laptops are great. There you go. Okay, so if I go back in here and I'm not going to select anything, I hit cancel. I haven't changed anything. And then I've got title. So I can add a title to that and see how it changes my title from whatever the default. So if the collection name was named something weird, and I didn't want it to say all single essential oils, but just say single essential oils, I could just type it here, single essential, right? And it's going to take place and update what's there. So I'm going to leave that undone. Scrolling down the page, and then you can collapse these over on the left here, right? So you don't have to have them expanded. There's another promotions grid. This one's a little different. Let's see what this one looks like. Where's that one? Oh, this section doesn't have any content. So let me go ahead and get rid of this one. So I'll click on promotion grid and then remove section. And we don't need that stuff taking up our area, right? Featured collection. So you have this featured collection here, and it's got a few products on it. Enable swipe on mobile, show video. You can show 5 products per row. You can show 3. You can show 4. 4 looks good, so that's why we put it on there. So 4 looks good. Leave that selected that way, and you could change it again, change the name, so you can call it featured products, featured oils, featured whatever, right? So you can actually control the heading that's up there, okay? All right, so featured collection, and then we're going to go back over here, and you've got large image with text. I'll show you what this looks like. Okay, so there's a big image right there with some text on it. So if you wanted to have that on there and show it there, you can, and then you put an image in the background of it. Here, let me just click on it. And you have control over putting an image, a button label, and you could tinker around with those. If you want to add something onto the front of the website and kind of mess around with it, there's something called add sections, right? So each of these things underneath has a block. So there's these little things that are called blocks that are part of the main item, right? So these testimonials are, it says add testimonial, but it's really a block, right? And then email sign up, this is really a block. And then here's a column. So they all have all these little things. So say I wanted to add a section, and then it'll give me the ability to tinker around and add whatever these little sections are. So if I wanted to test this, and I wanted to put a featured product itself just at the bottom, I can select it, and then it'll show, here's my example product, right? So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Click on featured product, remove section, because I don't want it showing. Text with columns, and then you don't need this either here. Let's get rid of that one. Just clean it up a little bit. So text with columns. So this text with columns is you can have text, text, button, 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 and that's what I kind of use here. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this guy. All right. So I'll hide that. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And I'm going to remove it just so it's cleaned up a little bit, right? Then your testimonials, you have your testimonials that slide here. If you notice, they're on the right-hand side. You can select the stars, all 5 stars, of course. You can put an image, you can put a name, etc. So if you wanted to add another testimonial, you just click there, and now it'll show up on the right-hand side, and you can add your new testimonial, all your information, right? So it's showing Los Angeles. Let's see what it looks like here. There we go. Add customer reviews, happy, author's name, right? So I'm not going to use that one. So I can either hide it or I can get rid of it. So if I click on it, I can remove it. So I'll just remove the block and it leaves my other testimonials. So I'm kind of done with that. I'll select save. And then going down the page, this said from the something or other before you wanted the title change. So it's real simple to do. Click blog posts and then you just change it here from the blog, right? And then you have your articles, show the date, show the author, view more, etc. Okay. So going down the page, you've got footer promotions, which are these right here, free shipping, and you can change what this says if you want to change this. Secured shopping if you want to change that, and then easy return, same thing. And then footer, down at the bottom, you got store hours, which is this guy right here, okay? And you got company, all right? So if you look at that, you got, it's a menu called company, and it's actually this menu I created here. There's an actual navigation bar in the back end, I'll show you in a minute, that is company that controls this menu bar, okay? So you have a navigation bar at the very top, and then you have a navigation bar here, all right? And then this pop-up you're not using, which is a pop-up that, and I'll show it to you. Here, it's just show enabled. And it'll show pop-up and save. But when you fill this out, it doesn't go anywhere. So if you were to turn this on because you like it, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to tell you in the back end onto a customer that they allow for emails. So you don't even use it, so I'm going to turn it off. Okay? So now I don't need to save anything because I didn't make any changes. So I'm going to go back. Okay? And that's it. So now I'm going to show you some other items on here. That's for editing the actual home page. I'm going to show you how to do the blog posts. So you have these blog posts here. And these blog posts are the things that show up on the bottom, okay, of the home page. Down here. Okay, and you click on them. And they give you that little snippet right there, right? Read full article, and then this one links to your actual blog. So if we go in here, you can click on one of these and then read the way it is, and then you can actually just copy this link if you wanted to, this link, or retype it or do whatever you want. What I ended up doing was I just grabbed a little snippet from each of your blogs just to get some content on your site. You throw a featured image on there, and then the author should be Hope, actually. Let's put Hope. There we go. So you notice I was starting to type and it had other people's names in there. So that's everybody who's in there. So if you're logged in, it's going to pre-populate your name in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. So if I add new blogs, so I'll go to blog posts. So let's go back. And I'll go to manage blogs. So you only have the one blog called articles, right? So I'm going to actually add a blog post. Okay, so blog post, and I would call my new blog post. Put my text in here, I'd link it out, I'd make sure it's visible, right? And then I'd add an image, and then you can put your author name in here, right? And then you can go ahead and save it, and once you save that, it's going to show up on the bottom of the home page as the next, because it's only showing 3, so it'll show the next one, the latest one will show up there on the left. Okay, so that's the blog posts. Pages. So I'm going to leave this page. So pages are what control your, do not touch share review or reviews, do not touch rewind, or this other stuff. The only things you would end up changing would be your U.S. consumer product information if you wanted to change that page, wholesale application. You have contact us, which has a form on it, okay, about us. Just click on one of them, you can take a look. So here's your essential oil. There's a lovely picture of Hope. And then you have it wrapping around here, and you can control it with all these little items here. Okay, scroll down. So, and then here's your search engine preview. So say, for instance, you don't like the way this reads. This is what the search engines are going to pick up. You can edit the website SEO right there, change your page title, and then you could change all this copy in here if you wanted it to say something else. And this would actually be the link to the site. Once the domain's live, it'll be miraclebotanicals.com/pages/about us. Okay. When you're done making your changes, if you notice there's an about page, contact, fact. So this is the default page that shows for the about us page. So if I go to the front, and I scroll down to the bottom and I click on about us, it has this, about page. This is the default page for all the web pages on the site. So if I change this to about, watch what happens. So there's a template that this theme has called about. I'll go back to about page and refresh. I don't know if it's going to do anything because I haven't checked that one out. It might have been when I was tinkering with it. Let me see. Okay, so the theme doesn't have one. It was just something I had made, I guess, apparently at some point. So anyway, just leave it as default page, select save. And then if you don't want to go back and forth, you always select view page here. And if you don't want to keep making pages, you can select duplicate, and it'll create another page called About Us Too, and then you can go ahead and edit that. Okay, so the pages are controlled at the bottom here. So you've got Contact Us, About Us, Frequently Asked Questions, the shipping and return policy, privacy, and then recall info. Those are all pages. Okay, and if you look up here, all this stuff, these are your collections. Okay, you got your account, add to cart, fun stuff, right? So I'm going to cover the categories and the navigation and the products in another video just because this video is getting long. So let's go ahead and go down. Let's see, navigation. I'll cover that in another video. Preferences, this is kind of like if you wanted to change the title, the homepage thing. Here's your social sharing image preview. Okay, that's on here. Your Google Analytics is already connected. And then you haven't connected that yet. Then you have it password protected. So once you're ready to go live, we'll remove the enabled password protection. You already have Google reCAPTCHA going. And then you've added these other sales channels, which you'll have to mess around with. You've already been into the settings. So I'll just give you a quick overview of what they are. Obviously, you've got your payments, checkout, shipping and delivery. You've already messed around with that. Taxes are already set up. Locations, if you had multiple locations and you had different inventory of places, you can add another location. Gift cards, if you click here, your gift cards never expire, and then you can have Apple Wallet passes, and you can edit a couple of things here. Sales channels, you already have a couple of these things set up, so you can click on them and you can deal with that. Don't worry about this migration, this right here. I'll be getting rid of those. Domains will hook that up. Notifications, so notifications are the order confirmation, right? Automatically sent to a customer after they place an order, order edited, order invoice, order canceled, refund. And so these are all done with code, right? So if you click order confirmation, you know, it has all this wonderful code in here, blah, 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 right? So you really don't want to mess around with that. If you preview it, it gives you kind of a basic look of your, your site and the colors and stuff. So it's pretty generic right now. And whatever colors you select underneath your theme, you can change them. They're already set, but that preview is more of a generic view of anything. When you scroll down here, so shipping, fulfillment, delivery, local pickup, customer account invites, all this customer welcome. So if you wanted to change that welcome message a little bit, you can get in there. And you'll see where the text is, so you're not really going to break anything. But if you do decide to change like the customer welcome, just make sure you copy all of this and put it into a text editor and save it as the backup so you have it. So if you do mess anything up in here, you can always come back in and put it back in here, okay? So that's your warning, okay? Otherwise, you're going to have to do a restore, right? So you don't want to do that. Now, if I go down here, what I'm getting at is showing you where the notifications are for the orders. It's going way down here. Way down, keep going. Staff order notifications. So sent to order notification subscribers is the new orders. So right now I'm going to get it and Hope's going to get it. So if you want to have someone else have a staff order notifications when a new order comes in, you just click on add recipient. And then if they're a staff member, you've added your staff people in here. So you can go ahead and select the other people, Ryan, Hana, etc. Right? So if you wanted to do that, you can select them there, and it's real simple. So I can go ahead and select here, and then you just select add order notification, and it'll put their email in there automatically. Okay? So webhooks, don't worry about that. All right, let's see. Let's see, meta fields, you don't need to worry about that. Files, you can upload files to your website if you want to. So say, for instance, you wanted to upload something and then reference that file somewhere, you can do it that way. It's not really needed, but some people like to upload an Excel document or whatever and then get the link, right? So if I wanted to see where this link is to this image, I can copy that link. Now if I open up a new tab and paste it, it's going to give me the actual URL to that image, right? And the same thing would happen to any of these other things. So if I do the same thing, I can click there. You know, you can click on the image. You could add your alt text in there too. You can go down these and add all the alt text if you wanted to. Languages, you're only in English right now. Adding languages, you don't just select another language. It's a little different. You're going to have to add an app to get it to go into Spanish and other things. Policies are things that are, uh, these are pretty generic things that people aren't really going to see unless they're getting emails and things like that. But you can edit those if you want. So preferences, pages, blog posts, and themes, that's all covered. And then I'll cover the other items in here. Navigation, so I told you about the two menus, right? So you got the main menu, which is the very, very top. No, there are the filters right there. So main menu at the very, very top, and then you've got the company one, which is in the footer. That's the footer one, right? So, and then this was a category footer that I was playing around with at one point. So you don't delete it, just leave it there. But these are the two. So if you wanted to add something to the bottom company menu, you can do it here. You can add menu item. You can look up, whatever you wanted to put in here if you want a blog, a page. So I want to add another advanced wholesale. I can add it, right? And select add, and then it's going to put it down here at the bottom. But I don't want it there. I want to put it somewhere else. I can just click and drag it, and then it'll put it there, and then I just select save, and it'll show up in my footer. Well, I don't want that, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it, remove, and I don't need to save again because nothing's changed, okay? So if you look at these, I'll go ahead and click on edit on order. This one goes to account login. This one's a little different. Contact us is going to go to a contact page. Goes to the contact page. About us goes to the about us page. All right, so you can link those easily by selecting that little box and it'll pop something up. Blog goes to the blog, etc., etc. Okay. Okay, that's it for this video, and then I'm going to go ahead and make more for the other items I am going to cover.